I really cannot believe that we're about to do the 400th episode. It's amazing.
We've come a long way, Jeff. A lot of
We
movies.
have we have. Did you realize we've done Richard Donner 4 different times?
Yeah, we have,
Yeah,
haven't
four.
we?
Yeah,
4 different
I
times.
I would honestly I would love to do another Richard Donner episode, but I like if you were gonna pick a Richard Donner film that kind of fits into what we do, like what would you suggest? Because
Man, I don't know. There's some really good ones out there, but I can't think anything off the top of my head. But
I was thinking, I don't know if you like we did Lady Hawk. Me and
hmm
Amber did Lady Hawk, and in doing the research there, that's when we talked about how he almost did Batman in 1989
yeah,
with
that's
with
right.
Mel Gibson. Could you imagine what that would have been like?
It would have been different, but I think it would have been great.
It would have. I'd love to talk about it, but they didn't make it, and
And the only way that we're going to talk about a movie like that is if we were in a alternate universe.
You remember the movie, but that's not who directed it. It's one of your favorite scenes, but that wasn't the actor. You love quoting the character, but that's not how the line goes. You have the right movies. You're just in the wrong reality. Welcome to the Alternate Universe Video Store. We have the hit movies you've only wondered about seeing.
are we seriously about to record our fourth episode without a name for the show?
Hey, I've offered you multiple suggestions at this point.
Likewise, and you've shot them all down.
Okay, well, director's cut was taken. The hot brick sounded dumb, and
Eh,
do not get me started on the Video Village. I mean, that makes us. I mean, are we really a rental store?
but those are real film industry terms. You know this.
Well, as someone in the industry, I can tell you that people outside the industry wouldn't understand them.
All right, that fine. Let's just get to it. Let's talk about a film by Rich.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's it.
What's it?
A film by. That's the name of the show.
Wait, a film by. Yeah, I like that, dude. It's perfect actually.
All right. Okay. So in that case, let's talk about a film by Richard Donner, his 1989 superhero blockbuster, Batman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Jeff Johnson,
And I'm Brad Kozo.
and you're listening to a film by podcast.
That's right. And we are coming to you live from the back room of the local Suncoast Motion Picture Company with a new episode. And Jeff, it may be the biggest superhero movie of all time.
One of the all-time greats for sure. Brad, do you remember the summer of '89 when this came out? Like, I have to believe your parents took you to see this, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember seeing this, God, several times that summer.
I still remember my mom calling us inside and handing me and my brother Batman t-shirts, telling us to change because we're going to see the movie. Did your mom and dad do that?
Oh, I mean, yeah,
You
I
had one,
made them
right?
do that. I had like three, at least three.
That summer, every kid had a black t-shirt with a bat symbol on it.
That's right. So, well, let's get into that one, okay? Because while the movie is a whole lot of fun, the production was anything but. It's one of the most troubled productions with hirings, firings, delays, and not one, but two film scores.
Well, as always, we're going to start by catching up with the cast and crew. Afterward, we'll take you behind the scenes with some film reel facts, then break down several scenes and themes, letting you know whether we love it or loathe it. And finally, we'll wrap up by deciding whether it's worth watching and worth owning.
I can answer that question right now.
All right, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we need to start with a brief synopsis. So, although I can't imagine anyone not knowing what this movie's about, Brad, what do you got for us?
We'll keep it simple. I mean, with his first step into the world of superheroes, I mean, Richard Donner made us believe a man could fly. He dazzled us with bright colors, amazing visuals, and a message about hope. With Batman, though, he introduces another kind of hero, one who lives in the shadows of Gotham City, one who is the knight, and his message is vengeance. As Gotham City's 200th birthday looms closer, a homicidal criminal calling himself Joker, played to gleeful perfection by Robin Williams, wages an all-out assault on the city, wreaking havoc on every turn without clear motive. Will anyone be able to stop the clown prince of crime? Enter Gotham's Dark Knight. Mel Gibson, star of Mad Max and Lethal Weapon, plays eccentric millionaire Bruce Wayne, a man who has dedicated his life to the restoration of his city by day and waging war on the criminal underworld as the vigilante called Batman at night. Will Batman act in time to save Gotham City, or will a Joker have the last laugh?
Nicely done, Brad. Let's catch up with the cast and crew, beginning with the guy who gets top billing. Talking about Robin Williams playing the Joker.
Hello, Doctor.
As well as Red Hood, briefly.
Yeah, I definitely want to discuss that scene when we get to Love It or Loathe It.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Williams, wasn't the first choice to play the Joker.
Oh, okay? So you want to get into the controversy now with Jack Nicholson?
No. There was someone else before him too, an actor named
What?
Wilhelm von Hamburg.
Who the hell is Wilhelm von Hamburg?
He is Vigo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the big creepy guy. Him playing the Joker?
Yes, he wanted to, but he was actually contractually obligated to play Viggo Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2. And given the production delays for Batman, I mean, he just couldn't do it.
Honestly, I can't imagine Joker being played by anyone other than Robin Williams. I mean, think about it. They created a look for the character that is absolutely iconic. I mean, and he spends what, 2 hours in the makeup chair every morning? He
Yeah.
looks hilariously creepy, and yet somehow he still looks like Robin Williams.
I mean, I think that comes down to him knowing how to deliver an amazing performance from under makeup. I mean, I watched interviews with him citing like people like Karloff and Lon Chaney as inspiration. I mean,
Ooh.
the manic energy and silliness of Robin Williams doing stand-up, I mean, it's basically hidden under all the prosthetics and strange voice, but it's pure Joker though.
Okay, so the voice. You mentioned the voice. The voice he does here. How old were you when you realized it was actually a Jack Nicholson impression?
I mean, I don't know whether or not I realized it until what he did that MTV movie special with Chris Connolly where he was asked about it and then aired about the whole thing about how Warner Brothers trying to screw him.
Was that the one where they gave away the Batmobile?
Yeah, the Batmobile that specifically was without an engine, so it couldn't be driven.
Again, troubled production. If I'm running a Batmobile, I better be able to drive it. But
Exactly.
Well, but back to the voice he does. I found this clip. So check out this clip of him discussing the whole Nicholson thing, and he's doing the voice. If you listen closely, you can hear it's like a Nicholson impression, but it's what he ends up doing for the Joker. It's really cool. Hold on, check this out.
Now, I've always been fascinated at the roles that actors get. I know this might be a sore spot for you,
Oh, it's
but
not. It's like we'll mention some and then we'll talk.
Okay. Well, the Batman, the Joker
Joker.
role.
I'm real sorry about it. Maybe I'll send you a couple of T-shirts, smart boy. It happened that way. I'm better than you and I'm bigger. So here you go.
It happens. Like everyone has those stories. Even Jack's been ripped off a couple of times. So there's parts that are either offered. Sometimes they use you as bait. They'll say we're sending it out to him, and you go for it, and then they give it to somebody else because they're saying it's out to him, and he goes, well, I better take it then.
So I read a funny story about Robin that aggravated the costume department. Have you heard the story about the gloves?
No, not about the gloves.
So according to costume designer Bob Ringwood, when people would visit the set, execs, studio execs, like friends and family, they're always going to bring people in, right? Well, every time someone would go to meet Robin, he'd take off one of his white gloves from the Joker costume, he'd autograph it, and he would give them away as gifts. And this got so bad that Ringwood had to tell him to stop.
Yeah, I'm sure that went over well.
Well, apparently Williams apologizes. He promises not to do it anymore, and then makes it a point to do it twice as often. Bob, Bob Ringwood estimates there are likely 100 or so Joker gloves out there signed by Robin Williams.
Oh God, just imagine how much of those are worth.
Now, I'd love to have one, but another tidbit about Bob Ringwood. Do you know the reason why Joker wears orange and black during the scene with the Smilex commercial he does?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
instead of the purple green, right?
it's not because he's a huge Bengals fan.
No, it
Oh, all
it
right,
is not.
all right. So
But
tell me. Yeah.
yeah, I will tell you. Early in the production, Williams had asked Bob Ringwood if it was true that he specifically color matched Joker's purple to the same purple of the Lakers for Jack Nicholson. So Ringwood confessed that it was true, and he feels a little bit bad about this. So he asks Robin if there was a team he wanted to pay tribute to with some of the colors. It just so happens that Robin Williams is a big San Francisco Giants fan, and that is why he wears the orange and black suit in that scene.
Oh, I thought it was a bang. All right. So we've mentioned Nicholson a few times. I mean, I think now is a good time as any to dig into some of the more casting controversy. I mean, do you agree?
I do. I think you should tell the listeners though.
Okay. So offers for the role of Joker went out to Robin Williams and Jack Nicholson at the same time, with Nicholson considered by Warner Bros. Exec as the dream pick. And remember, just a few years earlier, he gave that, great performance in The Shining. So I mean, they're thinking, they want more of that.
All right. Until you brought up The Shining, I didn't see Jack as the Joker, but I'm starting to now.
Really? I mean, you can't say really. I mean, think of like Cuckoo's Nest, the way he is in like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, well, okay. So now I definitely see it.
Well, so the problem was that both actors accepted the offer with Williams' deal put in place first. When Warner Brothers tried to back out of the Williams contract, it got back to Nicholson, who immediately walked away from the project. This ultimately delays the production start several months because negotiations with Williams breaks down.
Man, what a mess! But it's a fortuitous mess because
Richard Donner uses delay to shoot Lethal Weapon 2 and quietly recruit Mel Gibson back on board to play Batman.
Now, you say back on board, which will make sense when we get to Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, I mean Mel Gibson, aka Bruce Wayne, aka Batman.
Well, Mel was always the first choice to play Batman, but he was already signed to return for a Lethal Weapon sequel. I mean, I get contracts and deals, but both of these movies are Warner Brothers movies. So why do you think they'd figure something out?
I mean, right. I mean, but you're talking about also too several hundred people involved in a movie production, plus all the lawyers and the agents and execs. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's kind of a pain.
Well, Mel. So Mel grew up in Australia, so he has no exposure to Batman before this movie. Producers gave him a copy of the graphic novel The Dark Knight Returns as reference material.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're the comic book guy here, between us, but didn't Batman Year One come out before this movie? I mean, doesn't it make more sense from when he would just read that?
I will disagree with that because for the life of me, I can't find any similarities between this movie and the Dark Knight Returns graphic novel. At any rate, I do want to briefly discuss the actors who almost put on the cape and cowl.
Okay, so Mel is the first choice, but then the movie gets delayed several months, which pushes filming on Lethal Weapon 2, and now everyone besides Mel Gibson is getting a call from the Bat Phone about a role of a lifetime.
I've got two I want to tell you about. Are you ready for this?
Who almost got to deliver the line, "I'm Batman."
Well, an actor who had already delivered a similar famous line, that being Bond, James Bond. Pierce Brosnan was briefly in the running, but declined, saying, and I quote, "I just couldn't take it seriously. Any man who wears his underpants outside his pants just cannot be taken seriously. That was my foolish take on it. It was a joke, I thought. But how wrong was I?"
I mean, I think he would have been a great Bruce Wayne, but I can't see him as Batman. But at least, I mean, he took on Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, though.
Yeah, yes, it was a run by fruiting.
Yeah. And who was the other who was the other actor?
So the other actor, this one is almost too ridiculous to believe, but Michael Keaton was heavily considered.
Michael Keaton, as in Mr. Mom.
Yes.
Billy Blaze from Night Shift.
Yes, the very same.
I mean, I like him, but I'm gonna say no.
Well, so Warner Brothers producer John Popick was saying yes. He loved what Keaton did in Tim Burton's Beetlejuice the year before. So he sent the script to Keaton, who read it out of politeness because he wasn't much of a Batman fan. And Brad, ironically, Batman fans weren't Michael Keaton fans because they flooded the studio with more than 50,000 protest letters, one of which was signed by Batman creator himself, Bob Kane.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, the only place I mean where Michael Keaton playing Batman makes any kind of sense is I don't know, some alternate universe where they make crazy casting decisions. But who knows? I mean, I guess he'd take on Jack Nicholson Joker there. I mean,
You know, I can't say that whether that'd be any good, but I would definitely watch it.
okay, so one more thing that Gibson you might not know. I mean, he played a significant role in creating the final look of the Batsuit.
Yeah, okay. So I know this story, but please share it for the listeners.
Okay, so the first time he comes in to screen tests, he just wasn't happy. He called it some of the campiest shit he's ever seen. Yeah, he really did say that. He tells Donner if they wanted Adam West, why did they call him? So Bob Ringwald completely overhauls the suit with Mel's input.
Okay, so what I truly love is Mel's idea for the eyes, because he thinks seeing Batman's eyes humanizes him, even with the black grease paint around him. So he agrees to wear white lensed contacts, which effectively whites out his pupils. And it is a totally scary looking look. It totally works.
Yeah, I mean, the voice works too, though. I mean, he makes an informed decision to alter it slightly from, I mean, Bruce Wayne persona and tells Donner that it makes more sense for Batman to say as little as possible and to speak only when necessary because Bruce would want to hide, his identity as much as possible, obviously.
I bet there was some interesting dialogue cut out because of that choice, but I don't disagree with him. Batman needs to say as little as possible.
Right. I mean, so let's keep moving because we have still plenty of cast members to talk about.
All right. Well, you can't make a Batman movie without his most trusted confidant.
Lieutenant James Gordon.
I was thinking Alfred, but we can talk about Gordon.
No. I'm good with Alfred.
All right. Well, Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne's loyal servant, played by John Aston. Brad, how about another Bond reference for you? Aston wins this role over Roger Moore.
So, two Bond actors initially involved. I mean, I'm not saying Aston isn't good in the role, but the hell does he get Roger Moore?
Well, the short answer is nostalgia. So you got to remember, let me take you back 4 years. 4 years earlier, he meets Donner for the first time when he pays a visit to the set of The Goonies, which stars his stepson, Sean Astin, little Mikey. They became fast friends, and Donner talks about his regret over never getting the chance to direct an Addams Family TV episode. Because you got to remember, Donner did a lot of TV before the movies. So the producers may have wanted Roger Moore to play Alfred, but once Donner was involved, John Aston was the only actor he had considered. And incidentally, he joins William Peterson and Billy D. Williams as one of only 3 actors to appear in all 3 Batman films.
Right. So back to Lieutenant Gordon now.
William Peterson. Can you try to imagine a better choice? Because I'll sit here and wait.
I mean, the thing is, he went in to read for Harvey Dent because the early draft of the script had James Gordon character portrayed much older and already in place as police commissioner.
Yeah. Well, at that point, I believe they were considering Richard Crenna after seeing him play Colonel Troutman in the Rambo films.
I mean, I love Peterson in this role. I mean, he's almost pulling off from his Will Graham character in Manhunter.
One of your favorites.
Yeah,
right?
I love it. I mean, it's not that he wants to apprehend Batman or even stop him. I mean, he just simply wants to kind of understand it. I mean, that's what makes his performance as Gordon so compelling.
I can't agree more. Billy D. Williams has a minor role. You mentioned Harvey Dent. Billy D. Williams ends up as District Attorney Harvey Dent. He beats out Don Johnson Tommy Lee Jones, and I suppose you could say William Peterson, although we know Peterson got another role.
Yeah, I mean it's not a big role, but it's an important one because it ultimately sets up, the Two-Face down the road. So for him to matter to us later, Billy D. Williams has to build this character up. I mean, we have to like him as the hero in this movie so we can love him as the villain in, Batman and Robin Cape Crusaders.
He agrees to play the role on the condition that he'll get to play Two-Face if they decide to make a sequel. So Warner Brothers signs him to a 3-picture deal, and Williams is on record saying he was grateful for the chance to move past his role as Lando in the Star Wars trilogy. So, question, Brad. If you can only have Billy D. Williams, he can either be in the Star Wars universe or the Batman universe. Which do you choose?
I mean, I'm gonna say Batman, because I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, I don't think any of us talk about actors immediately when Star Wars is mentioned. I mean, we talk about the special effects, the creatures, the spaceships, all that stuff. I mean,
No.
Star Wars has amazing characters, but I think you remember the bigger stuff first. I mean, Batman doesn't work without strong, realistic performances. So I think he has more to do and more to offer in the Batman movies. Plus, he's in all 3 Batman movies. I mean, Starman in Star Wars, it's just half of the second and then just some of the third.
Okay, that's a good point. You may even say 4 Batman films because he did the voice for Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie in 2017.
Jeff, let's talk about this film's femme fatale. Sean Young as socialite Selena Kyle.
Ooh, she is bringing that Blade Runner smolder and steaming up every scene she's in.
Yeah. I want to run down a list of actors who were in the running and tell me what you think.
All right.
Okay, so Sean Young wins a role over Kim Basinger, Kathy Moriarty, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daryl Hannah, Melissa Leo, and Angela Bassett.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will acknowledge that it's truly a shame that Sean Young doesn't return in 1992's Batman and Robin Caped Crusaders because she is Selena Kyle. Now, having said that, we obviously know that she ends up being replaced by Michelle Pfeiffer. So, put a pin in Michelle Pfeiffer. As for the others, Melissa Leo, she's all wrong for this part. Kim Basinger, Daryl Hannah, it's interesting choices, but if I had my pick overall, it's definitely Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for everything Sean Young is doing in this movie, it is kind of a shame she was, relegated to the love interest role, and you never really get to see her in the costume as Catwoman.
Oh, we saw it, and it was a train wreck. Did you see it? Maybe you didn't see it, but don't you remember the Joan Rivers talk show thing?
No, I mean, I heard about it. I never saw it. I mean, is it on the World Wide Web?
Sadly, it is. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for getting off topic, but as we all know, she's not in the sequel because during pre-production on Batman and Robin: Caped Crusaders, she breaks her collarbone in a horseback riding accident. Why are you going horseback riding during pre-production of the biggest blockbuster sequel? Whatever. So they have no choice but to recast the part, and new director Tim Burton is directing the movie. He looks at audition tapes from this movie, and he stops looking once he sees Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay, but this Joan Rivers thing, though.
Oh, yeah. So Sean Young is desperate to win the role back. So desperate, she shows up at Tim Burton's office in a homemade Catwoman costume to get the role back. And he has her escorted off the Warner Brothers studio lot. And then she takes a bad situation and makes it much worse by going on the Joan Rivers talk show in the early 90s in the same costume to publicly call out Tim Burton for not letting her have the role back.
There is one actress who refuses to give up. She's the only, she says, real Catwoman, and she's going to join us today with a message to the director. So we're going to see, this is a real Hollywood actress and a big timer. You'll all know the name when we say it. So Catwoman strikes again.
I have a message for the director of Batman 2. How dare you not make time to see the Catwoman? Not even so much as granting me a meeting. How very rude of you. After all, I was in the original Batman. How dare you not even return the Catwoman's phone calls? I don't make phone calls very often. And after all, business is business. And doing good business means that you return your phone calls. It's a pretty simple formula.
It's Batman, but she's batshit crazy.
You know what? I don't want to. I kind of don't want to watch that clip because it'll probably change my perception of her. I mean, I really like her, and especially in this.
Well, I think Hollywood's perception changed. Because looking back, she was a hot commodity throughout the '80s, and then after this stunt, I mean, she's always continued to work steadily. Don't get me wrong, but name one Sean Young movie post Batman that isn't Ace Ventura.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I can. Okay. Okay, but back to the bad guys. I mean, I know it's a small role, but Joker's main henchman, Bob.
You are my number one guy.
Yeah. A character actor named Tracy Walter. Now, are you aware how he was cast in the film?
I would assume Donner liked his performance in as he played the cook in City Slickers.
No. That wasn't out yet though.
Oh,
but
okay.
he didn't even audition for the role because
What?
he was cast after his close friend Jack Nicholson mentioned him to Richard Donner.
Man, Nicholson is all over this movie.
Yeah. Tracy Walter often jokes that this is the film that immortalized him, but has character having an action figure with a power kick. I mean, I don't recall Bob Goon kicking Batman at any point or anyone else for the matter during the entire movie, but whatever.
I had those figures, and yeah, the Bob the Goon figure he had action kick. I don't understand it, but only one other bad guy I'm guessing you want to talk about.
Well, I mean, crime boss Rupert Thorne, who's played by a guy named Frank Aliter. Now, I asked you last week who this guy is. I looked him up, and he's pretty much a TV jobber showing up in about a dozen of old television shows. But you said there's an interesting connection between him and Richard Donner.
I have been waiting for this. So let me take you down a rabbit hole, my friend. No, we're talking about Batman. So let me take you to the Batcave, my friend. Frank Aliter starred in a television series called Danger Island. Have you heard of it? So it ran for one season from 1968 to 1969. The series also starred Ronnie Troop and a very young Jan Michael Vincent. Now, just listen to this synopsis and tell me you're not dying to track it down and watch it.
Okay, all right, hit me.
Looking for his brother who disappeared searching the South Pacific for the lost city of Tobania, archaeologist Professor Erwin Hayden, his daughter Leslie, and his assistant Link Simmons seek a treasure chest on board a sunken ship near an island in the South Pacific, which they hope will provide clues to the missing man's whereabouts. They are pursued by a gang of heavily armed modern pirates and 3 different tribes of cannibals. A native named Chongo joins forces with the archaeologists to save them from perilous situations. Now, anyways, Frank Aliter played the main character, Erwin Hayden, the adventure-seeking archaeologist professor. Does that sound like a family? Does that sound like a familiar concept?
I mean, okay. What does he have to do with Richard Donner? I mean, or Batman? I mean,
Well, Brad, all 26 episodes of Danger Island were directed by Richard Donner.
so you're telling me that Richard Donner passed up Brian Dennehy and Sean Connery because of Danger Island?
That's what I'm telling you. Hey, Donner is loyal to people he works with, and I'm willing to bet if Aliter wasn't available, he probably would have got that guy Steve Cahan. But Brad, I do think we've got one last cast member to mention before we move on to the crew, right?
River Phoenix is Dick Grayson.
This is a big year for River. He's playing young Indiana Jones and Robin the Boy Wonder.
I mean, technically he's playing Dick Grayson because, all right, just like Catwoman, we never see him in the costume as Robin. I mean, don't get ahead of yourself.
True, but we do see him in the red and green Cirque du Soleil costume.
As one of the Flying Graysons, yes, but not as Robin.
All right, okay, you got me. Again, this is a pivotal moment in what has become an iconic career. He's only 18 at the time of filming, but he's convincingly playing 15. And Brad, it's a comic book movie, and he's in a supporting role, but damn, the gravitas of the film is in no small part due to Rivers' performance.
Right. And we know that Donner knows how to work with kids. I mean, he's just a few years off of Goonies at this point. I mean, but it doesn't matter because Phoenix has never carried himself as really a child actor. I mean, even when he really was one. I mean, so Donner does a smart thing and he never treats him like a kid, basically. And that's important because when you think about it, Dick Grayson never really actually had an actual child. And, did he? He didn't really have a childhood.
Well, my childhood didn't involve death-defying high-wire acrobatics, so you've got a point.
And as unusual as the circumstance is, he then witnesses the murder of his parents by a crazy clown firing explosives directly into the circus crowd.
I know you hate when I call out your acting roles, but I have to this time because it ties into the conversation today. So back in 91, you did a film called Dogfight.
Yes, with River Phoenix.
And E.G. Daily and Lily Taylor. You played a small part. Dogfight Buddy you're credited with?
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's what it said.
Okay, well, Brad, hey, listeners, Brad's great in it. But Brad, tell us the smoke break story with River Phoenix.
Okay, all right. So we're waiting for him to finish lighting the set. He walks up and he asks for a cigarette. So we sat there just kind of bullshitting about everyday things, the weather, the nice crew and stuff like that. And I ended up asking, what's it like to work with those Harrison Ford and Mel Gibson? I mean, I never thought I'd get a chance to ask him. Might as well, right?
You have to. Yeah, you have to.
So he said, it's like being around your dad who will let you get away with some things and then spending time with your uncle who lets you get away with everything. I mean, he smiled, he put his cigarette out, and he walked away. And I've always wondered, between Harrison Ford and Mel Gibson, who's the dad and who's the uncle in that answer?
Damn, that's such a great story. You've got so many cool stories like that, but that is a great story. I love that one.
Yeah, but did you know that River wasn't the first choice for the role of Robin?
No, what?
Studio's first choice was Kiefer Sutherland. Now, he was only 19 at the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Now get this. He turned them down, saying he didn't want to do a goofy movie running around in tights.
Well, clearly he didn't even read the script because, as you mentioned, we never even see Dick as Robin the Boy Wonder.
Right. But I mean, I'm sure he knew, it was coming. I mean, it did. We get Robin and, of course, in the next two movies.
I'd say that covers the cast of 1989's Batman. We're going to take a quick break and then talk about the talent behind the camera.
Welcome back to a Film By podcast. We've been talking about the incredible cast of Richard Donner's Batman, and now it's time to discuss the talent behind the camera.
So just a rundown of the major players. Donner is directing the film based off a story by longtime friend Tom Mankiewicz, who you'll remember co-wrote Superman with him.
Okay.
The film is written by Sam Hamm, and Jeffrey Unsworth, another frequent Donner collaborator, is the director of photography.
Okay. I just want to jump in and say this film, I mean, despite the amount of necessary darkness and shadows, is a beautiful picture. I mean, Unsworth is the guy that shot 2001: A Space Odyssey, okay? And Superman, and he's responsible for some of Donner's, best looking films.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Speaking of Donner, I just can't fathom how he took on such a tremendous workload, because there's a significant overlap between the production of Lethal Weapon 2 and Batman. And dude, the fact that he didn't collapse on either set, is a miracle.
Well, yeah. So Time Warner CEO Steve Ross, he's headed at Warner Brothers in the late 80s. In 87, he sees Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, just like totally tank at the box office. I mean, obviously, it's time for something different. It's time for Batman, but you have to make sure it's in the hands of somebody with experience and a proven track record. Call Richard Donner. I mean, the bulk of his filmography is with Warner Brothers. I mean, it's makes sense.
Donner agrees to terms for a 2-picture deal, which includes a sequel to Lethal Weapon. So the plan is to shoot Batman and then head into production on Lethal Weapon 2 6 months later. He calls Steve Ross with 2 requests. 1, absolutely no involvement with the Salkinds of any kind. And 2, he wants Chris Reeve for a cameo, thus creating a shared universe between the 2 superheroes. And Ross agrees to both requests.
Okay, so we talked about Lethal Weapon 2 starting basically before Batman due to the various delays, and thankfully Donner has a very smooth time working on the shoot. So much so that they nearly wrapped when work on Batman starts. I mean, it ends up being about a 6 weeks where the productions are running together. Mel Gibson said during those 6 weeks he didn't know if he was coming or going. I mean, now the thing is, like, as an actor, you have to embrace that character. And here's a situation where you're playing Martin Riggs one day, Bruce Wayne and Batman in some cases on the same day. I mean, that's a tough one.
So I came across a great story this morning that ties to that quote of Mel saying he didn't know if he was coming or going, if we got time.
Yeah, we got time. Go ahead.
All right. So they had some pickup shots to do for Lethal Weapon 2, and they needed Donner and Gibson to shoot the scene where Riggs goes into like that rage mode after they try and drown him, and he discovers Rika underwater, already dead. Have you heard this story? No? Okay. So I'm talking about when they kill Patsy Kensitt's character.
Okay,
by the way, she was up for the role of Joker's girlfriend in this movie, but they felt she looked way too young for Robin Williams. But Donner liked her so much that he cast her as Rika von Hagendaz in Lethal Weapon 2. But anyways, I digress. So I'm talking about the scene where Riggs, he escapes and he kills the bad guys on the dock and he carries her body off, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember.
So the scene originally continues, and Riggs has this complete emotional breakdown. He just loses it. He's crying uncontrollably. He's yelling at God about his wife, Victoria Lynn, and he's about Rika. Like, give the man the Oscar right now.
Why would they cut that? I mean, that sounds amazing. Oh, man.
Well, the scene ends. Donner calls cut, and the AD says, Dick, we got a problem. And Donner has been at it for like 14, 16 hours straight without even looking at the guy. He says, don't tell me we weren't rolling on that. And the AD says, no, we got it, but, well, look at Mel. And it's at that moment where an exhausted, overworked Richard Donner looks over at his star and sees that his tear-stained face still has the black eye makeup on from when he was in the bat suit like an hour before. And once Mel realizes it, he and Donner just start like laughing, that cry laughing, like, I can't believe this. And Donner says, that's enough for today. Good night, people.
Oh God. That would be hilarious to see. That'd be great.
Me too, man. Me too. I want to talk about the film's music though.
Okay. The score or the soundtrack?
Both.
Okay. I love the songs. We all do, but go ahead and tell everyone why you're just as crazy as the Joker with your unpopular opinion.
I'm sorry, but Michael Jackson's songs for this movie suck. They just do. And when I think about the soundtrack we could have had, it just makes me mad.
You would honestly prefer Wham. Really? Wham.
Come on. Okay. It wasn't Wham. It was George Michael, and you know it. Oh, and let's not forget Prince.
Well, I mean, at this time, if Michael Jackson wants to do the soundtrack, you don't say no to him at 99. Okay.
Yeah, but they should have, because originally they had the chance to get George Michael, Prince, and Michael Jackson to provide songs for the film's soundtrack. The idea was that each artist would provide a theme for a character. So George Michael was going to do the love theme for Bruce and Selena. Prince was going to do this crazy Joker theme. And then Jackson would do the Batman theme, except he strongly suggested that he do the entire album. So Warner Brothers drops all conversations with George Michael and Prince.
Is it as good as Thriller or bad? No, but it's still good. I mean, you can't tell me that you hate every song.
Gotham Getting It, My Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Joke's on Me. Brad, these songs are trash. The only decent one is Scream, and even he knew that one could do better because what was it? Years later, he re-released it as a duet with Janet Jackson, his sister.
Well, they sold 11 million copies, so I mean, I'd say you're in the minority here.
That's fine. I'll be in the minority with Richard Donner because he didn't like Michael Jackson's stuff either. If you'll recall, he was heavy into the whole synthwave pop of the time, and let's be honest, the only reason why we got an all Michael Jackson soundtrack is because John Peters thought it was a great idea. And that guy does not have great ideas ever.
No. So let's move on to the score because I know you're a big Chad Cochran fan and I know how much you love his Batman score.
Oh, absolutely. I want to spend a few minutes discussing the score because it does have an unusual story beginning with John Williams.
Yeah. I mean, John Williams, probably the greatest composer of all time. I mean, he's Donner's first choice, but he's unavailable due to commitments on, God, so many other projects at the time.
Well, I have to imagine it's not easy for him to say no to Richard Donner, but he's already said yes to Steven Spielberg and Oliver Stone because this is the year he's doing music for Always, Born on the 4th of July, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. Now, where it gets unusual is that this film actually has two separate film scores. I mean, just like the situation where they hired Jack Nicholson and Robin Williams to play the Joker, they hired two composers too. Only this producer isn't checking in with that producer. And before you know it, we have two fully completed soundtracks.
The thing is, we've seen this happen before, but usually it's on purpose. Maybe a director or a studio head doesn't like what he hears and they go get someone else. Or maybe the director won't let go of the temp track. Think about Ridley Scott's Legend. The U.S. release has that score by Tangerine Dream. And then the international release has the much better score by Jerry Goldsmith.
Right. And so here we have two guys who get their start playing in bands. Danny Elfman from the band Oingo Boingo and Chad Cochran from what's the name of that
Dysomnia.
group? Yeah. I mean, do you want to start with Elfman?
Sure. And let me just say, his version isn't bad. I'm betting the majority of people listening have never heard it, but it's good. I just don't know if I think of Batman when I hear it.
Okay. Let me play a bit for the listeners. Okay. I think it's cool. It's less scary than the Cochran score, but maybe too big and bold. I mean, what do you think? Come on.
Again, it's not bad, but I don't know that I see Batman when I hear it. All in all, Elfman is a great composer, though.
Yeah. In this case, not greater than Cochran, though, because Warner Brothers says, here's your check. We love it, but we're not using it. So thanks anyway.
It's not a total loss for him, though, because they do ask him to do the music for Batman, the animated series in the 90s. And if you watch that cartoon, you know how good the music is, because it really does add to the brilliance of that cartoon. But now then, the Cochran score.
Okay, now, This is Batman.
This is the music a guy needs if he's going to dress up like a bat and beat the crap out of criminals.
Yeah, I mean, criminals are superstitious and cowardly loud. I mean, they have to be because if this music is playing, they're about to have a bad night.
So, Brad, my only gripe here is what this score did to Chad's involvement with Dysomnia. Because you know I love the band. I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. We've seen them several times. Do you remember back when they co-headlined with Metallica in '91?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see, they were never the same after Chad left to pursue scoring movies. And I mean, I get it. You got to follow your passion. And I'm not challenging Chad Cochran on this. I mean, that's not, who am I to do that? But over the years, he has recorded some new stuff with Dysomnia. I just wish there were two Chad Cochrans because I wouldn't trade his film score work. But damn, I miss his Dysomnia stuff.
I mean, well, no way would I give up film scores for more death metal. I mean, after Batman, you go on to do some even greater stuff. I mean, Seven, James Cameron's Spider-Man, and his music for Spartacus, Blood and Sand. I mean, those are just some of my favorites, though.
I was actually looking at Chad's MySpace page, and the big announcement this week is that he's involved in the new Friday the 13th film. Now, I know he's a fan, and I dig the fact that he does everything from blockbusters to indie films, and now good old-fashioned slasher horror films. So he did a piece for Revolver magazine. He was talking about Dysomnia's last tour. He's talking about all the music scores he's done. And when they asked him about Batman, he had this to say. Let me read this here. It says, "When I was approached with doing the score, I certainly couldn't believe it at first. I never thought someone who spent a lot of years in heavy metal would ever get that call. For the score, I tried to blend the tragedy of Batman and the Joker's ongoing struggle with the dark heart of the city. It has its heroic moments, but this is Gotham, not Metropolis." The dude's awesome. Love his stuff.
Jeff, are you ready to divulge some film reel facts?
Brad, there is so much, and I'm ready. I quote the Joker staring down the shotgun of Rupert Thorne's henchman when I say, "Give me both barrels, baby."
So, Batman was released on June 23rd, 1989, right in time for the 50th anniversary of Batman's first appearance in Detective Comics number 27. Now, we may not have had the World Wide Web in 1989, but we did have magazines like Starlog, Fantastic Films, and of course Fangoria to feed us movie rumors and gossip. So, I mean, fans were aware of the troubles behind the scene. In order to combat that negativity, the theatrical trailer was hastily assembled to be distributed to selected theaters. One such trailer was seen in Westwood, California, where it debuted to an unsuspecting audience. The 90-second trailer received a standing ovation.
In a movie theater?
Yes. Later, it would become a popular bootleg at comic book conventions. Domestically, it was the highest grossing movie of the year. Worldwide, it finished just behind Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Again, River Phoenix having another great year.
Comic book fans will recognize the opening of this film from a popular Batman story. Now, although a different scene was initially shot, Robin Williams gets his hands on the graphic novel Batman the Killing Joke, which DC released in 1988 during the film shoot. Williams loved the Red Hood origin story so much that Richard Donner convinced Warner Brothers to let him reshoot the opening to the sum of $3.7 million. That's $3.7 million in 1989, mind you. Right. There's a great behind-the-scenes segment on the Laserdisc about designing the look of the Red Hood with Donner. That's really great.
I mean, does he at least say how goofy the face covering red cylinder helmet looks?
No, but he does say that when Mel Gibson first seen Robin Williams wearing it in costume, he couldn't keep a straight face because Williams kept repeating "Nanu, Nanu" from under the helmet.
I mean, Mork from Mork. God, that's great.
How about some details on how Batman gets around town? The Batmobile had a fair share of tinkering done to it before cruising out of the Batcave. It was built on the chassis of a Chevy Impala with the Impala engine, the taillights of a Ferrari, the fuel caps of a London bus, and jet engine parts from a Harrier jump jet. The sliding cockpit was also inspired by the Harrier, with the slim windows of a gun emplacement. It was art director Terry Ackland Snow who added the headlights of a Honda Civic to the vehicle after noticing their appealing look on his wife's car. Oh, and when he's on foot, Batman, that is, a fun fact because John Peters wanted a collaboration with Nike for product placement. A close look at Batman's boots reveals that they are, in fact, Nike Air Trainer 3s, but they're all blacked out. And Brad, no, you cannot have your own pair because they were never released to the public.
Nikes that you can't buy. Good product placement, John Peters. Way to be on top of it. Now, Jeff, is this the only live action Batman film to feature just one solitary supervillain? But that almost wasn't the case because when Tom Mankiewicz was trying to crack the story, Donner's original idea was for several villains with a mind to cast Willem Dafoe as the Joker and Joe Pesci as the Penguin.
Oh, Pesci as the Penguin would have been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they reached out to him, but he declined, choosing to do, of course, Goodfellas instead. And speaking of Goodfellas, at one point during the production delays, producers made 3 separate offers to Ray Liotta. First, it was to play Harvey Dent, then the Joker, and finally for Batman. He turned them down each time, stating he wanted to work with Scorsese on Goodfellas.
Your boy Scorsese.
Yeah. Jeff, I've got a big what if for you. But before I drop it, if you have any other surprises?
As a matter of fact, I do. If you had to choose one line from this movie as the most famous, the most quotable, what would you say it is?
Oh, that's easy. I'm Batman.
That line wasn't even in the script. The original line was, I am the knight. And this is going to blow your mind because the only reason we have the I'm Batman line is because of Michael Keaton.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not making this up. During his reading, he questioned the dialogue. So Richard Donner challenged him. Listen to this quote about the line change from Donner. Let me read this here. Quote, oh yeah, the line. In the script, the punk is, he's terrified by this freak in a bat costume and screams, what are you? Well, Mike looks at the page a moment, then looks at me and says, Dick, this line doesn't work. So I says to him, so make it work. And he pauses for a minute. Then this look came over him and he dropped his voice down low and says, I'm Batman. And boy, we just ate it up.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe Michael Keaton might have been a good Batman.
Oh,
never know.
And since I'm quoting the director, I actually have just one more thing. A quote from another big director, Tim Burton. At this point, he was briefly considered to direct Batman, but ultimately Warner Brothers didn't have enough confidence in him.
Right.
So years later, he was asked what he thought of the first movie, and he says, quote, I liked parts of it, but the whole movie is mainly boring to me. It's okay, but it was more of a cultural phenomenon than a great movie.
Well, Tim, now if you can't say anything nice.
Right? And of course, he ends up directing the sequel, Batman and Robin, Cape Crusaders, in 1992.
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder what Donner thought of his Batman films.
Yeah. All right. So listen, you teased a big what if. I'm ready to hear it. What do you have for us?
Okay. I've got 3 Batman movies that Warner Brothers almost made. And as the Joker said in the movie, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. So first possibility, Steven Spielberg directing with Harrison Ford as Batman, Michael J. Fox as Robin, Tim Curry as the Joker, Dustin Hoffman as the Penguin, Gina Davis as Silver St. Cloud. She was a love interest from the comics. Burt Reynolds as Commissioner Gordon, Martin Sheen as Harvey Dent, and Richard Dreyfuss as Gangster Rupert Thorne.
I need a moment here to absorb how epically awesome that movie would have been. It's just, maybe it's just too big though.
Yeah, it's very 80s now. But the second film that almost happened was going to be directed by Joe Dante, who had John Lithgow as the Joker.
Okay, now that I like, but who was Dante's Batman?
Get this. He wanted a movie that solely focused on the Joker. Just the Joker. There wasn't going to be a Batman in the movie. I mean, in the end, Lithgow wasn't sure it would work. So he talked Joe out of casting him, which freed him up to do Madame Butterfly on basically Broadway.
I love Joe Dante, but that is a terrible idea.
Is it though? I mean, think about it for just a minute.
I don't need to. You can't make a Batman movie without Batman. It doesn't work. Even in an alternate universe where Mr. Mom is driving the Batmobile, a standalone Joker movie would fail. I mean, what's next? A Batman TV show that doesn't have Batman? Is it just a show called Gotham? Nope. Sorry, Joe. We're moving on.
Okay. Well, I left the weirdest one for the last. I mean, okay. How about Ivan Reitman doing a comedic take on Batman with Bill Murray as Batman and Eddie Murphy as Robin? It was in development for a while before it completely fell apart. I mean, it almost happened. Yeah. Bill Murray gave an interview in which he put out all the blame on Murphy, saying that Murphy refused to play Robin because he wanted the lead role. He went on to say that vanity was the reason basically the film fell through.
Never have I ever been so happy to hear that ego killed a movie.
Apparently, they argued over who should be Robin. Murray said, I talked to Eddie Murphy about it, and Eddie wanted to play Batman. That's as far as the conversation went. I don't want to be the boy wonder to anybody. Maybe much earlier when I was a boy, but it was late in the, for that in the 80s. Also, I couldn't do the outfit. Eddie looks good in purple, and I look good in purple. In red and green, I look like one of Santa's elves. There was just a lot of vanity involved in the production. It wasn't going anywhere.
Well, hold on. So they both look good in purple. So was it Joker he's talking about or Batman?
Honestly, I can't tell you. I mean, maybe Bill was remember the details wrong, or maybe Ivan Reitman had Batman wearing purple. We'll never know.
Well, one thing we can know is what we think about several key scenes and themes worth mentioning. Join us after the break for our Love It or Loathe It segment. Welcome back, listeners. We have talked about the cast and the crew. We have taken you behind the scenes with our film reel facts. And now it's time for Love It or Loathe It. Are you ready, Brad?
All right, let's do it. Let's begin.
So we briefly mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about the film's opening. It's kind of a prologue, if you will, showing us the Red Hood heist that goes horribly wrong.
Now, is this is right from the Killing Joke comic book, right? This is like straight from that.
Mostly yes. So in the book, it is definitely Batman that's involved in the accident, but here we don't see Batman outright. We assume this shadowy figure is the Batman.
I mean, damn good job finding a guy that looks like young Robin Williams too. I mean, it's Robin Williams' voice. I mean, they did that with Superman with Christopher Lee voicing the young Clark Kent. It's a great action sequence. The muted colors are a nice touch. It sets a tone for what unfolds, which is basically a detective story. Batman is first and foremost, a detective. I love that. I love that.
I never would have thought the Red Hood looking that comic accurate would work, but it really does. He's got a real sinister appearance. It translated beautifully on screen, and I only wish we had more time with him. I definitely love it.
Okay. Now, this actor is the same actor we see in Bruce's Nightmare, right? Because Donner keeps him in the shadows, but it looks like him.
Oh yeah, it's him. I'd say it's him.
Okay, so then the story does imply that Batman and Joker are responsible for creating one of another. Donner really doesn't come right out and say it, but it's what we're meant to think. How do you feel about that? Coincidence. Or irony, I guess, I suppose.
I'll cheat and say that while I loathe the idea of Joker being responsible for the death of Bruce's parents because it kind of steps on the Red Hood stuff, I do love that it's ambiguous and open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
I could see people walking out of the theater in 1989 questioning whether it was Joker who shot his parents or some random mugger.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about the Gotham on Ice fundraiser. We've got another scene with Thorne. We get Mel in the tuxedo showing why he was the perfect choice to play Bruce Wayne. And then of course, Brad, enter Sean Young's Selena Kyle bringing all the heat.
And the first thing I love about this scene is discovering who Selena Kyle is. Now, we know that she eventually becomes Catwoman down the road, but this scene is great because we're watching her move. This exhibit slash fundraiser looking at all these priceless diamonds and jewelry. And we're listening to hushed conversations, whispers from other guests gossiping about her family, scandal, and questioning whether wealth, where her money comes from. You kind of feel sorry for her. But I mean, that shot of her looking at the huge blue diamond where inside the glass, looking out at her, and then, Bruce approaches her and she spins around, only now it's Bruce's point of view. And we're looking at her as they walk away. We hang on the case just long enough to see the diamond is missing. I mean, it's almost like a magic trick and we immediately understand it, but she's there to rob him.
I love it too. Selena meets Bruce, and then we transition to Thorne's guys getting a little rough with her. That guy is maybe a bit too handsy with her for a PG-rated superhero movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Retrieving the diamond from where she was hiding it.
Exactly.
But the purse gets opened. All these rubies and gems spill out. It's a great shot because the lightning strikes, and we get Batman's shadow off the pavement, which it kind of looks like the bat signal. And he trashes like what, 4 guys? The last one of which gets the "I'm Batman" line. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. But how about Joker's attack on Cirque du Soleil? The Grayson family death.
I mean, it's funny to question nowadays because Cirque du Soleil is like this huge attraction. Even in Vegas. I mean, I think they have a residency there. But I mean, as a kid, I don't see circus like that. Where's the elephants? Where's and all that stuff. I didn't understand it.
It's weird. I looked it up. Cirque du Soleil actually premiered in June of 1984. So it was relatively brand new and never seen before. I gotta say, I think Donner using them instead of a regular circus gives Gotham a kind of otherworldly vibe. I don't know, futuristic maybe. Ahead of its time for sure.
Yeah. And when you think you think of that now, and you think of the stuff they did in Batman.
Yeah. And
it's stuff from Batman.
Obviously this movie put them on the map and made that attraction like super popular.
Right. When Robin Williams emerges from the other clowns in that moment and reveals himself to the crowd, I mean, he's really at his absolute best. I mean, right there.
The very acrobatic clowns. I didn't know Robin could move like that.
No, that is definitely not Robin. No, that is a good old fashioned, just camera trickery. But the cartoony fireworks shooting gun, I mean, that's pure Joker. I mean, I love the gimmick because you do have to laugh, but then you stop laughing when he aims it at the audience and basically engulfs the front row in dazzling fireworks and engulfs them in flames.
Meanwhile, River Phoenix and the Grayson family are just Cirque du Soleil all over the place. They're taking out Joker thugs until it's Bob the Goon. He kind of draws Joker's attention to him, and then a big burst of green and red fireworks explode, and they're dead.
I honestly think this scene has more action than the big finale, to be honest. I mean, another thing that works is that you see Bruce Wayne jump into action to help, but there's that moment, he realizes he's got to restrain himself a little bit. You can't move and jump and, be punching around like Batman, wearing your quarter zip sweater because people are going to connect the dots. And that slight hesitation look on Mel Gibson's face, just in his mind, he knows his hesitation caused the death of the Flying Graysons.
Well, it's perfect for the character development because without that guilt, it honestly doesn't make sense for him to volunteer to take Dick Grayson in. And plus River Phoenix is just so damn good in the moment. He's taking on all the responsibility for not acting fast enough. I love the dialogue between them here. Um, Bruce says, "I'm sorry, son. I wish I could have done more to help. I should have." And River Phoenix gives the line, "Don't feel bad, Mr. Wayne. It's not like you're trained for this life. I am. I'm the one who should have done more." Brad, Robin the Boy Wonder is born in that exact moment. Bruce Wayne knows it, and we know it.
Okay, do we love Bruce's nightmare? I mean, we see his parents gunned down, love it or loathe it. What do you think?
Love it. If only for the fact that they had Adam West and Julie Newmar playing Thomas and Martha Wayne. That is just fun fan service. And hats off to Adam West for that amazing mustache.
I mean, I love it too. I mean, I love the Alfred stuff here. Brewster's awake, sweating, panicked, and there's Alfred just making him a drink.
I I couldn't confirm it, but I'm almost positive that's an old fashioned, right? I think he's making it. But I'm sorry. Continue.
I think it would have been easy for them to just let Alfred be in the background, just the butler. But this scene shows he's more than that. He's family. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't overly kind about John Aston when we talked about casting, but he is really good here. And the fact that Alfred is the one responsible for Dick Grayson being brought into the Bat family is, a nice touch. Nothing to really loathe, here at all.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely agreed. I've got one more scene.
So do I.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I know which one you're going to mention. So I'll go first with the big finale. Talking about Gotham City's 200th anniversary parade. Wow, what an epic set piece.
Yeah, and to think that whole city scene is about 4 feet tall.
This is 1989, and the set design and effects honestly shouldn't look this good, but they do. I mean, I'm not saying I want to live in Gotham, but you never get bored with the architecture in this film.
Yeah, I mean, the moment when Joker releases the Smilex compound, all the green mist is just, I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 2 days of filming because the dye mixture was, wrong, of course, and everything and everyone was unexpectedly turned, yes, green. Yeah, yeah. They said Robin Williams showed up on set an hour later. He looked around and said, "Wait, what am I doing? A Batman movie or the Incredible Hulk?" He's goofing around.
He has to be the most fun you can possibly have on a film set. And I give him credit for his physical stunts because you do see that it's Robin Williams taking some of those tumbles during the showdown with Batman.
Okay. Tell me you caught that best of times not.
No.
Okay, so when Batman is down and Joker takes off his jacket, he does the Jack Dundee dance twirl. I mean, you didn't notice that.
Whoa, you're right. It's the one where he does it for his wife in the best of times.
Yes,
Jack part Smokey. Yeah, Jack Aquarius. Holy cow! How did I miss that?
I've seen this movie so many times, and I still appreciate that what we get here is a believable fight because Batman and Joker. I mean, yeah, the Joker is fighting dirty, but that's to be expected,
Brad, he kicks him in the bat nuts. It doesn't get dirtier than that.
I've never understood Selena Kyle. She just happens to be there. I mean, but I guess we have to see Sean Young, one last time, to let the audience know she's still here.
I mean, I don't mind it. But I mean, to be fair, it does make sense, but it didn't take away from the scene. And with that, there is just one last scene to love or loathe. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay. Let me do my best William Peterson impression. "We're not the same, pal. I'm a badge. You're a bat." William Peterson as Lieutenant Gordon confronting Batman and kind of laying out some ground rules.
Yeah, we can see that Batman is injured, but Gordon has kind of got him covered. He makes the choice to protect him because he knows. I mean, think about it. He knows that his daughter Barbara would not be alive if Batman hadn't interfered that day at Gotham Harbor. So, I like what you said, like about the ground rules, because they kind of define what will become their modus operandi moving forward. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, as do I. what I loathe though, I mean, it's something we really haven't mentioned.
What about one of these scenes?
No. Just in general.
What's that?
Mel Gibson is Batman. I mean, he's amazing in this. He's more amazing, of course, in 1992's Batman and Robin Cape Crusaders, but they don't bring him back in 95 for Batman Resurrection. I mean, Warner Brothers should have made that happen.
Hey, it's on him though. They wanted him back, but he was ready to move on. And instead of a third Batman film, he chose to direct and star in Braveheart, which is an incredible movie. But I'm with you. It's always tough when they change out an actor for an established character.
But I thought he was like contractually obligated to do it, though. I mean, that's what I thought.
Well, he was, but Warner Brothers restructured his Batman deal. So instead of him doing one more Batman film, he had to do a 3-picture deal. And those movies ended up being Conspiracy Theory, which I thought was great, Edge of Darkness, and then an uncredited role in Father's Day, which technically did see him reunite with Robin Williams. But I'm with you. I would take another Batman over those 3.
Yeah, it's too bad him and Donner killed off Riggs at the end of Lethal Weapon 2, because he could have done a few more of those. I mean, Lethal Weapon 3. I mean, gee, with an absolute critical and just huge commercial bomb, that could have worked with Riggs.
That Lethal Weapon 3, that is one bad movie. I think having Murtaugh still not retired but promoted to police captain kind of worked, but then having 2 cops on the edge being forced to work together and see who was going to out crazy who, that was just kind of stupid.
Well, I mean, what's done is done. I mean, I'd say we're done for this episode.
All that remains is whether Richard Donner's Batman is worth watching and worth owning.
Yeah. Clearly, the answer is yes to both.
But the question is, my friend, are you ready to upgrade from that tired, worn out VHS copy you own in favor of the amazing 35th anniversary collector's edition Laserdisc?
No, I told you, I like my movies looking like the way they did when I saw them in a theater. Okay. I happen to like the film grain and the sound that occasionally pops and crackles. I know you guys think it's crazy, but that cinema in its purest form from, this cinema nerd, I think.
But you're missing out on so many extras. The featurettes, the audio commentaries, the deleted scenes.
Yeah, but they're so big. I'll tell you this. When they finally come up with a laser disc that's maybe the same size as like a CD,
they will never be able to do that. You're talking about compressing way too much data onto a C, like something the size of a CD. What would you even call that?
I don't know. I mean, VHS. I mean, what does that stand for? Video home system. I mean,
video home system.
Yeah, CDs are compact discs. Digital video disc. Yeah, something like
digital
that.
Digital video disc. A DVD. That sounds absurd.
They would figure it out. They'd come up with a cool name, for it. It would work.
Well, listeners, if you'd like to figure out where we got all this incredible information and these great stories from behind the scenes, we're happy to send you straight to the source. Tell them about it, Brad.
Okay. This episode would not be possible without a copy of Dark Knight Silver Screen, A History of Batman on Film by New York Times bestselling author Van Allen Plexico. I got to say, it's the most comprehensive book ever written about, all 3 Batman films.
I have my copy. Also, a quick nod to Mr. Plexico. I happen to be a huge fan of his heist books, which means I'm beyond excited about Miami Heist coming out this summer, which is based on the first book.
That was a book? I saw that preview. I mean, the Noxie Gold in the casino with the guy from the James Bond movies.
That's the one. Listeners, we hope you've enjoyed our conversation about Richard Donner's Batman, and we welcome all of your questions and your comments.
That's right. We love talking film with each and every one of you out there. So head to the World Wide Web and find us on MySpace, Friendster, or Brad's movie blog, Cinema Nerds.
And next time on A Film By...
Yeah. So
I got a question for you.
yeah.
Yes, it's weird that Warner Brothers have been sitting on the Batman franchise. They haven't really done anything with it. Think about what Paramount did with Tom Cruise in that Iron Man movie. Like,
Right.
people still want superhero movies, right?
Yeah. It's still a bankable commodity when it's done right. James Cameron's Spider-Man, perfect example.
Perfect film. Perfect
Yeah.
film.
I think the big hope was that everybody wanted this dream world where you got Iron Man and Thor and Hulk and everybody crossing over. Do you realize how much money that would cost if they actually did that?
There's no chance that we'll never see that because the movie studios, all the movie studios are not going to get together because Fox owns one and Paramount owns. Everyone had like Marvel when Marvel went bankrupt and went out of business, they sold off all the characters.
Right.
That'll never like an Avengers movie is impossible. Never happen.
Maybe one day for like our kids. Yeah.
Only in an alternate universe, my friend.
Only in an alternate.